Good evening, friends, family, and neighbors. Hopefully, good evening, future voters for me as I'm running for magistrate, 3rd District, Hardin County, Kentucky. I'm sitting here thinking tonight, what is it that I love so much about Kentucky? What is it that I missed all those years when I went away with the military, when my mom took me away a bit with a stepdad, and we came back and forth? Um, What was it that I just yearned for when I think and hear Kentucky? Look, now living here in Hardin County, just wonderful place to be. We've got great economy. We're thriving, bustling. Even the U.S. News and World Report said it's the second best place to live in Kentucky. Now, they just said that because we weren't quite as big as Lexington and Louisville, I guess, and don't have quite as many amenities, but well, we've got some great stuff. Got that bustling plant where they're making batteries for electric trucks and vehicles, for Fords right nearby. Now we got an aluminum facility going to be going up so we can make aluminum to use in all these Ford vehicles and Ford batteries. Just so much stuff happening, so much bustling stuff going on. We're really moving along well here in this county. Now I know we need more. We always want to grow more. Heard the other day from a friend, like a shared, who has a food truck in Fort Knox. Times have been a bit tough for him because yes, the county's bustling, but the hiring freeze that the federal government's had on since the election has really been hurting folks there in the base. Um, Jobs lost, not replaced. So that's also hurting his food truck. His folks that were buying aren't there to buy anymore. And that really hurts me. And I'm thinking, man, if I want to sell someone on Hardin County and on Kentucky, what Kentucky means to me, why I had to come back here, and why I love being here and can never imagine leaving again. Can you put it to words what Kentucky is? Well, so I thought about it. I thought, first and foremost, Kentucky is a hug in the evening from Papa and Mama as they tuck me into sleep under a handmade quilt. Kentucky's a hug again and a loving rub on the head as you get a groggily out from under that patchwork quilt to the aroma of biscuits and sausage gravy served with yard-raised eggs cooked crispy around the edges in pork sausage grease with a runny yolk that soaks into Mama's buttermilk biscuits for an extra savory portion to add to that gravy. Now, Papa says his favorite vegetables are biscuits and gravy. That's Kentucky. Kentucky is 10 acres of bluegrass that take 3 days to mow with a push mower because when Papa overpays you to mow it, he knows that Papa and Mama built their house right into a hillside. So you're mowing a hillside. No ride mower for that. That's Kentucky to me. Kentucky is a cardinal that spends a whole season eating right outside your window after great grandma Lula dies the same year your favorite plow pony dies. Kentucky is a hot, green, beautifully green, humid day spent in short pants and a tank top when Papa takes you fishing in farm ponds that big city folks will call a puddle. Hey, but it's to Papa's delight. You catch a bass bigger than those you see the Bass Pros catch on TV. Kentucky is wild oaks with broad leaves, wild pecan trees, and pawpaw trees so beautifully green that they haunt you as you boil in your own sweat in the nasty sand of Pakistan and Afghanistan. in 2001 and 2002. Kentucky is rolling green hills of the bluegrass state as you eat sand in a California sandstorm in 29 Palms, California, and again in another sandstorm in Afghanistan. Kentucky is an accent that caresses your ear and that you yearn to hear when you leave the bluegrass too long to fight for the empire. Kentucky is a long ride home after Agent Orange strikes your dad down and the Lexington, Kentucky VA wants you to come back to pull the plug. And then Kentucky embraces dad's ashes at the grave of his brother and mother. Kentucky is home. I can feel it, but it is a feeling I cannot sell, though I try to convince my friends to buy into it. Kentucky is a place a California bride swears she will never stay until she arrives weary from the cancer battle. She swears she must get back to Cali greatness. Then Kentucky is an amazing doctor who takes a Kentucky minute times 60 to really listen and really heal a weary soul. Kentucky is realizing that a minute with a California doctor was only a waste of a transaction, but Kentucky Care is transformational. Kentucky may not be perfect for out-of-state friends, but Kentucky is perfectly mine. Now, y'all, that wasn't necessarily political, but it's how I feel about the state that I love. It's a feeling that I just can't even tap into perfectly with words, though I tried there. Kentucky is me. Kentucky is that green grass, the green leaves, just yearn for them. All the other places I would go, couldn't find that rain on a tin roof at night in the desert, but it's Kentucky. All right, y'all, have a great night. Try to be a little more political tomorrow night, but just had to talk about Kentucky. Have a great one. Let's take care of each other, help each other. Remember, we are brothers and sisters keeper.